There are so many simple things that you can do accidentally to literally cause your loan approval to go to a denial. Today we're going to talk about home loan education. Be sure to stay tuned to the end because I've got some downloads that you're not going to want to miss out on. If you're new to the channel, my name is Stephanie and I've been helping customers for over 18 years with their mortgage financing. And I'm passionate about spreading mortgage and homebuyer education across the U.S., even though I'm a licensed loan officer only in certain states, currently Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, and Florida. If it's your first time to the channel, please be sure to subscribe, hit the bell to be notified every time I drop new videos, which is weekly, and please do smash that like button because I'd really appreciate it. When it comes to home loan education, this is my first and foremost biggest piece of advice. Home ownership is not for everybody. I want you to look into it, see if it's something that you're comfortable with, and if it is, then fantastic. There's a lot of great benefits to owning a home. But if for some reason you're not comfortable or you're just not ready once you've gone through the pre-approval process, or maybe once you've taken my home buyer education course, or maybe once you just do some research on YouTube and you decide it's not for you, please go with your gut. I want you to be super comfortable. It's a very big purchase. That is my #1 piece of advice. The second thing is get all the education that you can. There are so many simple things that you can do accidentally to literally cause your loan approval to go to a denial. So you want to make sure that you've done your research and you know what you need to submit, how you need to submit it, and things you need to keep an eye out for. One big thing that I do see a lot is people saying they have so much in the bank and they don't quite have that much in the bank when the bank statements come in, or they actually have NSF or overdraft on their bank statements. That's one big thing that can cause a huge wrench in your loan approval. And there's other things in addition to that, such as things as, let's say that you work 40 hours a week and you've put that on your application and they go to verify paycheck stubs and the last 4 paycheck stubs show that you only work 30 hours a week because maybe there's been some kind of change or something. So things like that are things you want to look out for, be aware of, and know about. That way you are completing a good, solid loan application. That way you can have a good, solid loan approval. Now, when it comes to homebuyer education, you also want to know what different loan types are out there and may or may not be available to you specifically. A quick overview would be there's VA, FHA, USDA, RD, or conventional. You're like, what the heck did you just say? That was so much at once. I get it. But those are the 4 most common types of loans, and they all have different requirements when it comes to everything. Another thing that you're going to want to know and be really confident on is know about your credit. Now, there are so many apps these days and they can give you what's called a Vantage score instead of what's called a FICO score. Think of that as if you go to one school and your friend goes to another. One high school is on a 10-point grading scale and one high school is on a 6-point grading scale. They don't really care at all what the other one's doing. They're going on their own grading scales. And that's how I like to explain FICO versus a Vantage score. I find the most comfortable place to go is annualcreditreport.com, which is supposedly the government website where you can go and get a copy of your report from all 3 credit bureaus once a year for free. What's not for free is the scores. You do have to pay for those, but I find that that's the most reliable score versus some of these apps that are using different grading scales, which can cause confusion when you actually go to apply. I actually have built a home buyer education course that you can purchase. I'll drop a link below. I've really spent a lot of time, energy, and dedication into this course, and I really feel like it is fantastic. It is everything that can help you not only get approved, but have a smooth and on-time closing, and literally guide you step by step, even how to submit your documents in a great format to secure a great, tight, good loan approval. If you're watching the video today, you're probably also wondering about what does the overall process look like and what you can expect. So the first thing you're going to start with is, hopefully you haven't picked a realtor yet, because I'd love you to get pre-approved before you start shopping for a home and talk with a realtor, because you want to make sure that you're shopping in the right price range, or that can be really disappointing. So the first thing you want to do is work on getting a loan pre-approval. Now, if you have a realtor, they can probably suggest a loan officer or a specific lender for you to work with, and that's a great place to start. You can also do some research online if you like, or maybe friends and family might have recommendations for you. Once you've decided on what lender to kind of start talking with, the first thing you want to do is apply. Most of the time nowadays, the application is online. You do your online application, and then you want to make sure that you do talk with the loan officer to review the application to make sure that you did enter everything correctly, because those questions can be confusing to a consumer for sure. It's just a standard government issued loan application, and it can definitely be a little bit confusing. So you want to go through that with your loan officer. The next thing is your loan officer is going to request some documents from you. Make sure you get all those documents to them quickly, accurately. Don't leave out any pages. Then ideally the next thing that happens is they go ahead and issue you a nice solid pre-approval from there. Once you've got that solid pre-approval, you can then connect with a realtor and go start shopping in a certain price range. Once you've picked out that most perfect house for you, then the realtor would get with you to go ahead and make an offer. And they'll ask you a lot of questions, because a lot of detail goes into this offer, including what your loan type is, your loan term, your interest rate, when you want to go to closing, and things like that. Now, in a perfect world, the seller would accept your offer and you would move right past to the next step, but sometimes you got to go back and forth a little bit, and that's okay, and that's pretty normal. Once you and the seller have agreed to the terms of the sale, the next thing you want to do is get your home inspection. It is not required by most lenders, but my opinion is I would never buy a home without a home inspection. It's different than an appraisal. They want to make sure everything's working and functioning, and you don't want to buy a house to then move in and realize, oh gosh, the air conditioner just went out 2 weeks later. So you want to make sure you protect yourself with a home inspection. A lot of times there's little things here and there on that home inspection that way you'd have to go back to the seller and negotiate again for maybe them to repair things, or maybe lower the price so that you can repair things like that. Once you've agreed upon the inspections, then you'll typically go ahead and work on locking in your interest rate, signing your loan disclosures, and moving into a phase called more of processing underwriting, where they order title for you, they order appraisal for you to make sure that we've got a good property that is good collateral, to make sure that the title's clear to pass along to you. And once you go through that phase, then they'll issue final loan approval. A lot of times they'll come back and need some things, like they might need a termite certificate, all depending. They might need updated paycheck stubs from you, things like that. You turn that in, you go to final approval. Once you've got that final approval, then ideally the next thing that happens is your closing date. And what does that look like? Well, it's different in different states, but ideally it takes around an hour or so of signing. You always want to bring your photo ID. They need to make sure that it's you that's signing the documents and attending. And if you have to have money to close, which most of the time you do, you want to make sure to bring those made payable to the title company and make sure those are certified funds from the bank. Don't show up with a bag of cash, and don't show up with a personal check. That's a quick little kind of overview. In some of my other videos, I dive deeper into different things. You can definitely check those out. I'd appreciate it. Hopefully you find it beneficial, and hopefully you've enjoyed this information today. Thanks so much for tuning in today. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please, if you're moving in 9 days or 90 days, give me a call, shoot me a text, or send me an email if I can help you in one of the states that I'm licensed in.